E8 said something I want to address. He said, "Don't overlook what Luda did for ATL. Lyrically, quality albums, great videos, 3 straight platinum albums." This is what I'll say about Luda. I think that Luda, at the time that he blew up, he gave. Listen, I don't know if everybody knows this. I guess I feel like this is common knowledge. Luda's a radio legend in Atlanta off top. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Chris Love and Poon Daddy are radio legends, or Hot 97.5 off
Might
top.
be top five, Mike. You might be a top five radio host ever down here.
In my personal opinion, hey, listen, I love Greg Street, and Greg Street's done a lot for the city. But when I was a youngster, and those two shows were on at the same time, I was going to Chris and Poon. And and when Luda made it, and when he put out Incognito, we went out there and supported that. And when he made it and saw "What's Your Fantasy" on the box, and found out he signed to Def Jam South, we all felt like we made it. He lived out. Actually, he lived a couple doors down from my homeboy's older brother on Creel Road. And so, what Luda did for the city was big in the sense where it showed people that yes, you can make it. But if you talk about that local bubbling, it didn't feel like what that T.I. and
I
Jeezy
mean,
thing felt like,
I'm gonna
because
say, Mike,
he was
let's
out
just
of here. I think the rest of the world saw it and how successful he
no.
was
I
and knew
mean,
he was
Mike,
from Atlanta. But it was different.
let's just call it what it is, Mike. Tip and Jeezy was in the streets,
Yeah.
and so it resonated in the streets different, and it
Two
carried weight
Chains too.
different.
When Two Chains had his run, yeah.
Right. It's like,
Yeah.
nah, these weren't just like Tip and Jeezy weren't just due to like rap, like they were known like in the streets already. So when their stuff started to blow up, it was something that the street dudes galvanized behind too. So it wasn't just like the fact that dudes was like dope. It's like, nah, they was coming from a place and talking in a way because they was living that life. And that just resonates different than what Luda does. It's not to take anything away from what Luda did. If anything, Luda helped pave the way for a lot of people just by opening up the floodgates and
Oh, definitely.
showing that like a solo artist down here could go multi-platinum and be like a big star.
And
So
that the
he's
world would appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? And see, what Luda's gift was the fact that he was able to make really big records, even from a local standpoint. Like, for anybody to think that a song like "What's Your Fantasy" is a local record that had no major budget or anything behind it. Him and Sean J was in a basement or wherever, and they made this record. Well, they've recorded it patchwork, but still, we're talking about a local record. He didn't have to hook up with the biggest producers at the time to do that. And then Sean J went on to produce a Millie or whatever, whatever. But the fact that these guys made a worldwide smash in a similar way what Nelly did with Country Grammar on a
very
very
popular,
local level,
very
that is
popular.
that's really dope. And
Right.
again, he didn't need to be in the streets like that because he had one record that took him over the top. T.I. and Jeezy didn't have that. It was
Right.
multiple records that did it for them.
Right. But he
Yeah.
also had avenues and resources they didn't have too. So you get there how you need to get there. You know what
Well, I
I'm
think the
saying?
other part about Luda's career too, which is awesome and insightful, is the fact that him being in radio, there was a lot of inside information he had, and he was trained to know what the people wanted to hear, what worked, what didn't. He was in those meetings. He was in those listening meetings. He
He
understood
he
what
understood
was
what
what a
was
hit
going to
record was
get
gonna be.
right. So here's what he was great at, Mike. Like you're not gonna find an artist down here, even still to this day. Ti probably would be the closest thing that knows how to craft a record that is going to get played on radio immediately. Like as in like the streets don't have to give it no buzz. It just fits into their format and you can go with it immediately. Oh no, Mike, he did that flawlessly from jump.
I think
Like
I think personally, Luda has one of the best rap careers. Period. He hit every market every time. Like, I always feel like if he would have came out 2 years earlier or 2 years later, it would have been different. Possibly, who knows? But he hit that mark at that time, and then when it was time, like when records were selling and people were still buying records, he hit that dime right at that point. And when people weren't buying records anymore, excuse me, he was able to get into Fast and Furious. He was able to get in Crash. He has a whole acting career. He has an incredible career.
you want to know what he did, Mike? He maximized every opportunity
Every
that was put in
opportunity.
front of him.
He
He
didn't
maximized every
he didn't
opportunity.
skim on anything.
He didn't skim on anything. He didn't sell himself short on anything,
Yep.
and he maximized every opportunity put in front of him. Yep,
I think
sure
that's
did.
incredible, and I think that needs to be
Oh,
highlighted more for real.
No, I mean, smart dude, talented brother, and he's done a lot of giving back in the community and stuff too, and
I
still
think he
does. So,
had a plan from jump. Like he knew he wasn't gonna be in radio like that, but he used it for what he could at the time. Boom, let me do this, and he knew exactly when to pivot. People like that, they're thinking
well,
2, 3 steps ahead of the game.
well, how about this? He was 2, 3 steps ahead, but he had a hell of a backup plan, Mike. Like you said, he was probably the best DJ down here, local DJ when he was down here.
Oh yeah, if
So
the shit didn't work out, he could have came back and been a radio legend again.
I'm about to say, Mike. I mean, like is I mean, are some of these dudes even on the radio if that doesn't happen? You know who I'm talking about? You
I
feel
mean,
what
you
I'm
got
saying?
people who are never in radio that have to go back to radio. You know what I'm saying? And listen, if I was talking to Luda, and I'm gonna ask him this if I see him, I really wish him and Poon would have an Apple Music radio show once a week. Just do it for us, man. Q-Tip does it. It'll be fun. Just an hour out of your day.
See how it
Those
goes.
guys
Maybe.
were great, man. I
No,
think,
maybe.
and I wish we had footage of it. I wish we had like YouTube clips. There's a few obscure clips out there of Chris and Poon's show, but I wish people could really understand how dope their show was. That's why they were rising so quickly. They were entertaining. Poon was funny. Chris was funny. Lala was on their show, and
Mm-hmm.
then who was it? Who was the other person that made it? She's out in L.A. The other DJ. It'll come to me in a minute. But yeah, Lala was on her show. Chris used to rhyme on his show. It was amazing.